Hey guys, welcome back. Um, Hopefully, I noticed in the first week I recorded my video is clicking out a little bit. Hopefully, I fix that this week. But so, I think there is a cutscene coming up.
Horses. Looks like Tommy took one. Now Maria's got the stables locked down.
That I don't want to talk over.
Fucking Tommy.
But then after that, you get to Seattle, and I can talk a little bit. I do want to talk a lot about how I feel about Joel dying.
This makes getting to Seattle a lot harder. And it's gonna be harder. You can still change your mind.
My first thought when it happened was, I think this is a good idea because it forces you to make something new out of your second game. Okay, I can't really talk. The first game was about the relationship between Joel and Ellie.
I figured we'd want to slip out that way.
So if you wanted to, you could just make the second game about that too. But that wouldn't be a good game. It's like if you killed Joel, then your second game can be about something new. If Joel's around, it feels like I don't know. It forced. They could have made the game about something new without killing Joel, which is what I thought they were gonna do. I didn't think they were gonna kill Joel. I didn't. I remember Neil Druckmann talking about the game and what it's about, and he said it's about Ellie and something bad happens to her, and then she goes on this adventure. And I thought, okay, Dina's gonna die. That's what happens. That's the call to adventure. I never thought Joel would die. And I think this is a long cutscene. So.
Hey. What do you need? I can go get it. I want to do it. Okay. I'm okay. Come on. I'll hang out down here. Thanks.
I don't think there's anything here, right? Oh. Don't remember. What are you getting here? Oh, did I ever talk about the journal? I don't really like the journal that much. It's kind of weird. Feels unnatural. I don't know. I guess it makes sense for people to have journals. I have a journal, an audio journal. It's just so weird for her to talk about Joel's death and be like, oh, I feel so sad right now. Like, no, duh. Joel just freaking died. We know. Oh. Just a picture. I think this is it. The watch. Whoa, whoa. play the guitar? No. You can play the guitar later.
Everything okay?
Yeah, it's just come on down.
Okay, let's watch this cutscene and I'll try to get my thoughts together.
Maria, I'm headed to Seattle. I wish I could let it go, but I can't. I have to bring these people to justice. Ellie's gonna try to come after me, but stop her. Take her guns, lock up the horses, maybe lock her up. Buy me some time so I can end this. Love you always, Tommy. He's gonna get himself killed.
He should have taken me with him. You should have given us a group to go after those fuckers.
I wish I could.
You gonna try to lock me up?
I'd prefer that you stay.
That's not gonna fucking
I'd
happen.
prefer that you stay, but I know you better. You going with her?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna sneak out of here?
Yeah.
On foot?
Yeah.
I told the stable to let you out with your horse. Grab some ammo, too.
Thank you, Maria.
Just, do me a favor and bring my dumbass husband home in one piece, please.
Of course.
All right. Get going, you're losing light.
I think that's it. No, now we're in Seattle. Hello, Seattle. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I think killing Joel in the beginning of the game kind of forces the game to be about Joel again. And this game should be more about Ellie.
Jeez. Were you scared? Well, I didn't even think.
I like that Ellie is the protagonist and not Joel. I think that's obviously the right choice. Because because Joel's arc, he had an arc in the first game that was really interesting. He started out as this guy with a daughter. His daughter dies during the apocalypse. We flash forward, he's this hardened criminal, basically. He meets this little girl, he hates her, he hates everything. He doesn't want to be attached to anything. They have this journey, he becomes attached to her.
So how lost are we?
Blah blah blah. He meets people on the way who are like foils to his personality. They show him what he could be, what he doesn't want to be, what he wants to be, what he should be, what he shouldn't be. Then eventually he comes to the end and he has to make a choice. Do I kill these doctors to save Ellie, or do I let them kill Ellie to potentially save the world, or maybe not save the world, but to try? And he chooses to save her, which is like really cool. I really like that a lot. And it doesn't make you like Joel, but it is really interesting, and it's just done in a really interesting way, in a really cool way. I like it. The more I think about it every time I play it, I'm like, this is so good. That would be so boring if he just let the doctors kill her and save the world. That would be awful. Terrible end. That would have ruined the whole game, I think. So, okay, Joel has that super interesting arc, but so then there's no way they could do another arc with Joel in this game. He's already had so much of a journey. There's no way you want to do it again with him.
Ellie, cars.
So obviously,
Yeah, we're getting close.
you play as Ellie,
Still
right?
working our way out.
Ellie has an interesting journey now. It's her chance. I mean, she had an interesting journey in the first one. She had an arc, obviously, because there's only 2 characters in the game. But there's still a place to go with her because she's young and she can have her own journey, her own call to adventure. So that's what we're doing.
Here we go.
The problem is,
Guess I was wrong. Turns out you do know where you're
without giving away any spoilers, nothing as interesting in the first game has happened to Ellie. She and I'm still not all the way through it, but she hasn't had a super interesting arc so far. I'm not sure exactly what story they're trying to tell with her yet. And I have faith that they're going to tell an interesting story. I do, and I like what's happened so far, pretty much. Do I? But it's the more I think about it, the more I think it's going to be hard to match the first game, like how interesting it was, how interesting Joel's character was. I just don't, I don't see, so far I don't see that with Ellie. She doesn't seem that interesting. As interesting. She's interesting. I don't know. But you think, well, the first game is about Joel and Ellie and their journey. And now we're with Dina for a little while. So you think, well, the relationship between Ellie and Dina, is that going to be what this game is about? Because the first game was about Joel and Ellie? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What is this game about? I don't know yet. I really don't know. And I feel like I'm a third of the way through. When I was a third of the way through the first Last of Us, I felt like I could tell. Nah, maybe not. I have to give it more of a chance. Okay, any more notes? I got a map, that's good. So Joel obviously had to pay for what he did in the first game. Right? He couldn't really
Anything good in there? Found an old tourist
get
map.
away with
Well,
just
That's
being
something.
a horrible monster. He had to pay in some way. It could have just been emotionally. It didn't have to be with his life. But that's one way to do it. And we don't know yet if Ellie knows, but I have a suspicion that she does. She knows that Joel lied to her. I have a feeling. Well, I was thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking about, obviously about Joseph Campbell and stuff.
Think about how well we hide our lookouts.
A big part in the story is the atoning with the
That's what
father.
scares me.
And an obvious atonement with the father in this game would be that Ellie finds out that Joel lied to her. That would be an atoning with the father point. But I don't like that because that's, and I don't think they're going to do that. Because that's first game stuff. I mean, let that, I don't know, we want to do something new with this game. We don't want to go back. We don't want to have one of the most important plot points be her learning out about the life from before, right? That's kind of boring. I don't think they're going to do that. But I don't know. So atoning with the father is just...
Whoa. Set the QZ. Yep. Watch the high spots.
I guess the way I thought about it before was stories that are about a character who gains a power. At the beginning of the story, they don't have the power. At the end of the story, they do.
Looks like there's some cracks up there.
The middle point is, or kind of like the... Look at what? I missed it. Oh.
You see it? Yeah. Not sure how we get up there.
It's
though.
an atoning with the Father point, which is when
WLF. Trespassers killed on sight. That's
the meeting with the goddess is before atoning with the Father. Meeting with the goddess is when
where is everyone?
the goddess gives you the power that you get from going from the conscious to the unconscious. That could be anything. That could be just like learning the lesson, or I don't know, Luke using the Force or whatever. That's like a physical power, right? So atoning with the Father is when you have to atone with your past. Your father kind of represents your past. So it's like the scene. It's a scene in a lot of movies and stuff where the main character talks to their dad. For some reason, Black Panther came to mind, and there's a scene where he talks to his dad, and his dad's dead, and he has like a vision of his dad, and he says, I really like Black Panther, but I forget what it's. I've only seen it once. But he said something like to his dad, like, you should have saved us. Why didn't you save us? You should have. I think the dad lived in Wakanda, and the son lived in like Oakland, and he's like, why didn't you save black people? Why didn't you? You had all this wealth and you didn't share it. And that's the atoning with the Father point of that movie. And that's kind of an obvious, so that's a good example to show. And that can be a really powerful. That should be like your most powerful moment in your movie. So in this game, I was thinking, well, the obvious thing they could do is just have Joel, or have Ellie realize at some point that Joel lied. And maybe she could talk to like a vision of him or something and be like, why did you lie to me?
Are these
But I don't think they're going to do that.
holding cells? Soldiers had them in Boston too.
It wouldn't make sense to do that, because then it would just bring everything back to the first game. And by the time we get to the atoning with the Father point, a lot more stuff should have happened, like more important stuff. And the way they tell stories, I have a feeling we're just gonna realize that at some point Ellie knew the whole time. Jesus gonna be like, yeah, I knew you lied to me. I knew. I figured out eventually. Whatever. I mean, I knew it. This might be a little bit of a spoiler, but there are some flashbacks. So I have a feeling they're going to do that in a flashback, where Ellie will talk to Joel in a flashback, and Joel will be like, I lied to you. And Ellie will be a little bit angry, but she'd be like, I know you lied to me. I know. And I don't like that you lied. But I know. What am I supposed to do about it? I think I was supposed to go up here. Whoops, sorry. There might be some more wandering around than you might like. Sorry about that.
Dina, help me up here.
Oh, I went way over today. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So did I talk enough? I want to still talk more about it, I think. Okay, yeah, I have more stuff to talk about tomorrow. Hope I'm doing a good job. I want to do good with this. I don't know why. I want to do a good job with this playthrough. But yeah, see you tomorrow.